isn't it? It's the holiday season. Dr. Theresa Tam. Buckle up. This is difficult to watch, okay? We're going to pause this, but this is difficult to watch, okay? Now that we got through Dr. Bonnie Henry, right? The British Columbia fucking necromancer. We go up the ranks to Dr. Theresa Tam. She got Mrs. Claus on the phone. She got Mrs. Claus on the goddamn phone to talk about vaccines. That's what they're worried about in the North Pole. All the elves running around unvaccinated, telling Santa to go fuck himself, and we're not going to work. They won't let the elves work this year. That's why there's no presents going to be given to any kids that are unvaccinated, that have unvaccinated parents. That's what's happening up in the North Pole. I talked to Santa himself, and he says, "Look, I can't let them work. They're all unvaccinated. All these fucking elves are unvaccinated." Yeah. They took my sleigh to the Freedom Convoy. You believe this? So now I had to fire him for having not only radical beliefs, but for being unvaccinated. I put mandates in saying that Santa can't have elves walking around here unvaccinated, killing the vaccinated, right? So here we are today, and thank God Santa gives a flying fuck about Canada. Well, he doesn't, because they could only get a hold of Mrs. Claus. So Dr. Theresa Tam tweets out this: "Parents and caregivers, I had a great chat with Mrs. Claus about things we can do to make this a happy and healthy holiday season. Here's the scoop from the North Pole." Jesus fucking Christ. God almighty. This place is turning into a hellhole. Every fucking day, isn't there? There's something new. Dr. Theresa Tam talks to the North Pole. Let's listen to this. Let's go through it. Let's have a good time. Watch this all together. Oh, here we go.
"Well, kids, I'm just doing my yearly call."
Oh, kids. She's a fucking South Park character at best, you know?
To the North Pole for Santa's holiday health check.
Santa's holiday. Now, this is going to be probably something that most people would consider racist, but that accent couldn't be more Canadian than ever. Couldn't be more Canadian. Sounds like is she from Vancouver? Has to be. Oh, connecting.
Why, hello, Dr. Tam.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Mrs. Claus, so good to see you again.
It would have been funny if Mrs. Claus came in and was like, "Konnichiwa." "Konnichiwa, Mr. Dr. Tam." That's all I could think of when I watched this the first one, and be like, "I'm not Japanese, I'm actually Chinese."
Where did Santa go?
Oh, Santa was late for snow yoga with the elves and reindeer. He says
Snow yoga. Not known as goat yoga, the greatest yoga on the planet, invented here at Danger Cats, you know, getting absolutely smashed and waking up and ungodly fucking, you know, your body's twisted in ways you didn't know it'd go, in locations that you didn't even know existed. Snow yoga. I used to do a little snow yoga in a handicap stall, you know what I'm saying?
it's great cross-training for sleigh driving.
Sounds fun. Are you all set for the holiday season?
What is going on here?
Of course, I must say, Dr. Tam, it just warms my heart to see everyone in Canada, especially kids, working so hard to keep the holidays safe and cheerful for all.
Who is that psychopath? Who is that is that Mrs. Ash? Is that the real Mrs. How the hell did they get her on the horn? I didn't know they had FaceTime up there. All these years I've been writing letters to that son of a bitch when I could FaceTime him? What an asshole. Santa is an asshole.
So am I, Mrs. Claus. Every child in Canada has definitely earned a place on the nice list. Their parents and caregivers too. It's been a tough season with lots of viruses making people sick.
No, what's making me real sick is watching this fucking video right now. Lots of viruses making everybody sick. Oh my God. breaking news, okay? Breaking news. The elves are all dead because they're unvaccinated. So kids, you get no Christmas this year. Zero Christmas. The elves are unvaccinated, and right now they're gearing up for the annual celebration, or the first inaugural celebration of January 6th. They all have gathered together, and they think that they're possibly going to head down to Washington, D.C. and do it all over again. They want to count the votes themselves. That's what all the elves are unvaccinated and heading to Washington, D.C. in the United States of America because they think the election was stolen.
Thankfully, Santa and I are feeling as healthy as ever. We are both up to date with our vaccinations, including COVID boosters and flu shots.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. What is going on here? This is like a Kids in the Hall sketch. This is a horribly done Saturday Night Live sketch. Actually, if there was a Saturday Night Live logo on here somewhere, it would make sense. But then again, it wouldn't. It would still not be. It's still not funny.
That's so good to hear.
I always tell Santa to make a list and check it twice. 1.
Are you unvaccinated? Is your kid unvaccinated going to a public school? Well, guess what? He's being flogged in the basement right next to the water heater, the hot water fucking tank. He's tied up, and they are giving him 50 lashes for every day that he does not get vaccinated. That's what's first on the list. And if you think that he's going to attend any sort of family event, you are out of your mind. You are out of your mind. In fact, you might as well just ship him up here and let him hang out with all the elves, or the little girl, or whatever non-binary fucking furry that you have located inside your house. Well, what's number 2?
Stay up to date on your vaccinations. 2. Wear a mask in crowded indoor places.
Wear a mask in crowded indoor places, or else Santa is going to come down and shove a cattle prod up your ass. No, that is not child abuse. This isn't a Balenciaga ad campaign. This is about being on the right side of history.
And make sure it fits nice and snug.
See what I mean? Make sure it fits nice and snug. The cattle prod. Do you want your kid to be electrocuted by Santa? Is that what you want? You ignorant bastards?
3. Wash your hands to the tune of jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Oh my word. What fucking retirement home did they drag that bag out of? Where is she from? We need to know. Right now. Whose grandma is this? And why is she doing this? That's not the Mrs. Claus I know. The Mrs. Claus I know, well, okay, it was a link on a website with orange and black, and all of a sudden she's surrounded by what I think is unvaccinated elves, I thought, because that's the type of stuff that I'm into, okay? Maybe they were vaccinated because they grew bigger. Maybe they were on like that vaccine that Jay Cutler's on. You know what I mean? Mr. Olympia vaccines. And they looked big and strong, and Mrs. Claus seemed to be having a good time. Not this old saggy bag of bones.
Great advice. Great voice, too.
Great voice, too. Dude, she 100% is like a character from South Park. You got the Santa hat on, just having a good time. You think she had a good time filming this? I hope so.
Also, you can be sure to stay at home if you...
How many times? She was really looking heavy at those hands. Look at that. Was she counting the whole time? She was too. Get the hell out of here.
Bells, jingle all the way.
Great advice.
No, 1, 2, 3. Great advice. That's a doctor. Keep in mind, that's a doctor. Okay.
Great voice, too. Also,
Great voice, too. It is. It sounds like Terrence and Phillip mixed into one.
you can be sure to stay at home if you're feeling sick. And if you're gathering indoors with other people or elves, open a door or a window for a few minutes at a time to let
Open a door or a window and throw your unvaccinated uncle that believes that lizard people are controlling the planet out the front door or maybe through the picture window so he can learn a lesson. That's what we want. Does your uncle have a fuck Trudeau sticker on the back of his GMC Sierra 1500? Well, maybe you should open up the door a bit wider and kick him in the ass out of your fucking house because you don't need that. That's the real virus, is your redneck uncle from fucking Mayerthorpe coming into the city and stinking up the room with his goddamn unvaccinated breath and moronic ideas that somehow Trudeau's a pedophile. So get him the hell out of your house. And remember, this message is from the government of Canada.
in some fresh air. The more items you check off the list, the more protected you are.
Yes, you can think of it like decorating a tree. You need tinsel, light.
Think about it. Like decorating the most inclusive tree ever, minus unvaccinated right-wing accelerationists. Okay? There is no Jesus on this tree. There's pride flags, teddy bears with BDSM outfits on, candy canes that double as butt plugs, and ball gags made for your uncle. Okay? If he wants to sit at the table, he has to put this on. All right? Anal beads are what are going to be what wraps around the tree. Similar to the pearl necklace that she's wearing, except we're going to pull them out of our aunt's ass this year.
Lights, ornaments, and the star on top. The tree is at its best when all the decorations are up and nicely layered.
Thanks, Mrs. Claus. Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holiday from the government of Canada. Please remember, unvaccinated family members pose a risk to your health and safety. Remember to beat them to a pulp with any Christmas ornaments that are sitting inside your house. Do you have a nativity scene? Well, take baby Jesus and club your aunt that believes that Joe Biden is a lizard man. Does your aunt also listen to InfoWars and a big Alex Jones fan? Make sure to club her over the head as well with one of the three princes that come to give gifts to this baby child that was born from a virgin. You're not Catholic? You're not Christian? You don't have a nativity scene? Well, there's plenty of items around the house. Like, for instance, the Star of David at the top of your tree. Bring that down. And beat your aunt to a pulp like the 8 girls in Ontario that did to a homeless man for taking their liquor. Jesus Christ. That's what we're dealing with up here, folks. That's what, isn't that depressing? Dr. Theresa Tam got Santa Claus's wife on the phone. All the feminists are like, well, why isn't Mrs. Claus delivering the presents this year if he's too busy doing yoga and she's doing all the press?